Pasta.
Pasta.
Are you all right?
I'm just nervous, that's all. Sorry,
I
realized we were on TV. I'm just gonna...
Oh, no. Oh, man.
Hey, I have a bucket list thing.
Get ready to witness the jaw-dropping moments that push the boundaries of television like never before.
Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just...
In this groundbreaking video, we dive deep into the archives to uncover the TV moments that defied expectations, shattered conventions, and rewrote the rule books of television forever.
On the way is away.
From celebrations gone wrong to unintentional on-air banter, these moments broke the rules, shattered expectation, and ignited controversy. Join us as we count down the 20 TV moments that went too far. Number 20. When television goes wild. Now, we've all been there, glued to the television set, munching on our popcorn, when out of nowhere, things go from normal to absolutely bonkers. Like one time on a wacky Japanese show where a bunch of marketing gurus were watching this bike racing campaign. It's just your typical day, and then out of the blue, like a superhero gone wrong, a fearless stuntman comes flying out of the television screen. It looks like one of those professional faces were worth more than all the marketing campaigns combined. Priceless doesn't even begin to describe it. Can you imagine their confusion? One moment they're discussing ad strategies, and the next they're dodging a wild daredevil on a bike in their very own living room. Talk about a marketing pitch taking an unexpected turn. It's like the television decided, let's give these people a taste of adrenaline and see what they're made of. I bet those marketing professionals had a whole new perspective on creative advertising after that. Who needs boring boardroom meetings when you can just have acrobatics in your face? And to think, it all began with a simple biking campaign. Remember, you should never underestimate the power of live television to bring you the unexpected, the hilarious, and the downright weird straight into your cozy little living room. Number 19. Gordon Ramsay's culinary adventure in Thailand. When Gordon Ramsay hopped a plane to Thailand, he thought that he was the king of the kitchen, but little did he know the spicy surprises that awaited him would make his culinary adventure a roller coaster ride. As he attempted to whip up an authentic local dish, the heat was turned up on poor Gordon. It seemed like the tables had turned, and he was the one who was struggling. His pad thai was more like pad try, if you catch the drift, but just when he thought that he could escape the spicy truth, a fearless local chef emerges from the shadows. With a twinkle in his eye and a ladle in hand, he fearlessly approaches Gordon's creation.
What do you want to know from me? Ask me.
Well, how is it? Oh no, look at that face.
This is not pad thai at all.
It was as though we were watching a superhero saving the day. However, it was with noodles and spices. With a mischievous smile, the local chef takes a bite out of Gordon's pad thai. His face contorts into an expression that can only mean one thing. It was absolutely disgusting. With a theatrical flair, he critiqued Gordon's creation like a seasoned food critic, leaving poor Gordon in awe. It was a humbling experience for the celebrity chef, as he realized that even in the land of spicy wonders, there's always someone who's ready to take your cooking game to the next level. So the next time you see Gordon Ramsay in the kitchen, just hope that he's not having to face another fearless Thai chef, because it could be a recipe for hilarity. Number 18. Unintentional on-air banter. There are moments that make us cringe and giggle at the same time. Here we have Emma Baker, the host of ITV Angelia in England, thinking that she's off camera when she decides to tackle some important tasks like fixing her clothing and hair while having a casual chat. But guess what? She was unknowingly live to all of the viewers. Talk about an oops moment. And if that wasn't enough, she couldn't resist making some hilariously awkward comments about her off-screen colleague.
Because you're always talking to her.
She had wondered aloud if the lady he was talking about was his wife, or perhaps just someone that he spends way too much time with. We can only imagine the mixture of embarrassment and amusement that flooded the control room when they had realized what was happening. It's like watching a comedy skit unfold in real time. Poor Emma, caught in her multitasking misadventure, inadvertently entertained the masses. But hey, let's give credit where credit's due. Emma had managed to spice up the TV experience with unexpected laughter and an impromptu comedy act. Who needs scripted jokes when you can have some unintentional on-air banter? Just keep doing your thing, Emma, and remember, always double-check if the camera's rolling before you let those funny comments fly. Number 17. Testing the myth of sting-proof. Beekeeping, well, it can be a stingy business, and those beekeepers in their fancy beekeeping outfits know it well. But here's where the buzz is. Those suits, despite their mighty design, are not exactly sting-proof. That's right, they may provide some protection, but bees can still find their way to give a beekeeper a cheeky little sting. Now imagine an unwitting reporter deciding to put the suit to the ultimate test on television. The stage would be set, cameras were rolling, and our fearless reporter steps into the spotlight. But the bees had a different plan that day. They saw through the so-called sting-proof suit and managed to land a sting on our unsuspecting reporter. Thanks to the report being live, you can see the chaos that unfolds. The reporter does a frantic dance, swatting and jumping around while trying to maintain his composure, but ultimately has to go off screen.
Attached to this story on our website.
A lesson that even with the best intentions and fancy protective gear, nature still has a way of reminding you that it can be quite the prankster. So the next time you see a beekeeper in their suit, you should give them a sympathetic nod and a chuckle, knowing that they're braving those stingers for the sake of both honey and adventure. Number 16. An unforgettable twist. In a jaw-dropping twist at the 94th Academy Awards, funny man Chris Rock unleashed a mischievous side by playfully poking fun at actress Jada Pinkett Smith. However, her husband, the nominee himself, Will Smith, did not quite see the humor in the matter. He decided to take things into his own hands and treated Rock to a mighty slap across the face, accompanied by a passionate eruption of colorful language.
Oh, wow. Wow.
The audience would be left utterly dumbfounded, their jaws hitting the floor like a dramatic movie scene. Critics had a field day, going to town on both Smith and the Academy, giving them a good old-fashioned roasting for their lack of action and decorum. But it gets even worse. Instead of being shown the door, Smith not only got to stay and enjoy the rest of the glitzy ceremony, but also had the audacity to waltz up on stage and accept an award shortly afterwards. Talk about adding insult to injury. It was like watching a sitcom gone horribly wrong, leaving everyone scratching their heads and wondering if they had inadvertently stumbled into a parallel universe where chaos reigned supreme. And to think, we thought the drama was simply reserved for the silver screen. Number 15. Celebration goes wrong. The stage is set, the lights are shining, and our contestant is feeling on top of the world. With her heart full of joy, she decides to celebrate her victory by giving the judges a great big warm hug. But little did she know there was a sneaky pit lurking between the stage and the judges' table. Oh, the hilarity that unfolds. Her enthusiasm turns into a hilarious air stunt as she approaches the judges with open arms. With arms flailing and a shocked expression, she then found herself suspended midair over the pit like a bumbling acrobat who was caught in a comical trap. The contestant's premature celebration had turned into a moment of slapstick amusement, and it was a classic case of oops that she never saw coming. As the embarrassed contestant dangled precariously, the lesson was learned. You should never underestimate the perils of unseen obstacles. So let it be a cautionary tale for all aspiring winners out there. You should watch out for those treacherous pits, or your unexpected victory dance may turn into a flight of fancy. Number 14. The drunk reporter. When a reporter from the Hollywood Minute stumbled onto the scene, he was as shaky as a penguin on roller skates. His words were doing the limbo, sliding and slurring all over the place, and while his behavior resembled a squirrel on a caffeine high, poor Kristen Bell just couldn't handle the chaos and began getting more worked up than a blender on full speed. With her patience running more thin than dental floss, she decided that it was time to take matters into her own hands. With a swift and well-deserved slap, she aimed to bring the reporter back to reality. Thankfully, the man had managed to dodge any serious injuries, much like a cat dodging a water balloon. It was a moment that was mixed with both comedy and relief. The reporter's intoxication added a twist of absurdity to the situation, but thankfully no harm would be done. Kristen Bell's slap had served as a humorous wake-up call, reminding everyone that sometimes a gentle tap on the shoulder just isn't going to cut it when someone is as tipsy as a teeter-totter. Number 13. Elon Musk and Wife. In a hilarious mini-documentary that aired ages ago, we saw Elon Musk caught in an awkward situation at home with his ex-wife. It was like watching a comedy show. She had crossed the line and things became really cringeworthy when she blurted out that she would have said yes to anyone's proposal. Ouch! Talk about being brutally honest. And if that wasn't enough, she also added that she had actually considered leaving him thousands of times. I can only imagine Elon's reaction at that moment. The poor guy must have been squirming in his seat, desperately trying to come up with a witty comeback.
Swept off your feet is appealing, and I'd probably have said yes to anyone that seemed half sensible if they proposed after 10 days, just because it's kind of an interesting thing to do. Obviously, we moved straight into the house with the children, and it became a very real thing immediately. My parents were traumatized by this whole experience. Although there's been so many times that, right, I'm getting on a plane to England and I'm never going to see you again.
Really?
It's situations like these that remind us that even the genius minds of tech moguls do have their fair share of hilarious relationship mishaps. Now, I'm not a relationship expert by any means, but I think it's safe to say that discussing your 1,000 escape plans and hypothetical suitors on national TV is probably not the best idea. Let's just hope that Elon has found love and laughter in more harmonious settings ever since. Number 12. Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence really let loose at the Golden Globes and totally lost her mind when she caught a journalist red-handed using his phone to read his questions. It seems the poor guy was struggling with English and was as nervous as a squirrel on caffeine.
How do you see yourself for the Oscars
You can't live your
night?
whole life behind your phone, bro.
Huh?
You're just not gonna, you can't do that. You gotta live in the now.
Sorry.
You know?
Now, we've all been there, trying to impress someone while our brain decides to take a vacation and leave us stuttering like a malfunctioning robot. But hey, using a phone as a cheat sheet, that's a whole new level. You can see the reaction on Jennifer's face as she chastises the man in a really mean way. It's like scolding someone for eating pizza with a spoon. It's just plain wrong. But let's cut the guy some slack. English can be a tricky business, as untangling a slinky in a hurricane. And nerves, well, they do have the power to turn even the most eloquent speaker into a babbling buffoon. So, when facing Jennifer Lawrence, leave the phone at home and bring your A-game, because she's a little bit rude, and maybe a pocket dictionary would do better. Number 11. Dima Bilan. The Eurovision opening was an absolute riot. Dima Bilan, the star of the show, descends from above on cables, ready to steal the spotlight. But things took an unexpected turn. His jacket got tangled up in the wires like a mischievous kitten that was playing with yarn. It was a sight to behold. Now, you would think that anyone in that situation would panic, scream, or maybe even break into a frantic dance to free themselves, but not Dima. The guy, bless his heart, did not break character even for a split second. He was determined to keep the show going, wire, jacket, and all. Can you even imagine the struggle? There he was like a fashion-forward superhero that was caught in a cosmic fashion disaster. Did he flinch? Well, no, he absolutely owned it. Every single step that he took, every note that he sang, he did it with the grace of a true performer, wearing his tangled jacket like a badge of honor. That moment became pure gold. It's not every day that you witness a superstar entangled in his own fashion choices and still manage to keep a straight face. It just goes to prove that he is a fashionably funny legend. Number 10. Lee Cooperman. Now, if you're curious about the extravagant life of a billionaire, let me tell you about Lee Cooperman's hilarious mishap during a failed interview. It gives you a glimpse into the glamorous chaos that they experience. Here, Lee was struggling to silence his never-ending barrage of messages and calls.
With us, forgive me, Lee, I'm sorry. When you were last with us, this sounds like we're on a game show where every time you make a point that someone agrees with, they text you and your phone goes off. That's neither here nor there.
I wish they stopped. I'm getting all these instant messages that's throwing me off.
Okay, that's what it is.
People well
That's what I keep.
intentioned.
That's what I keep hearing.
I have
Is
no
your
control over
exposure?
it.
All right.
Can you simply imagine being so rich that your phone won't stop buzzing with people clamoring for your attention? It's like having a personal concert by an overzealous marimba player.
Time so very
I
much.
apologize. I apologize for the interruptions. I don't control it. I know you said it to stop text messaging me, but if I knew how to stop this.
Apparently they did. They stopped texting you and they.
Lee couldn't figure out how to escape the clutches of his own digital frenzy. Perhaps he pressed the wrong button or ended up in some techno jungle without a map. It is relatable though, isn't it? I probably would have thrown my phone out the window.
Let me just hang up here. Hold on. Anyway, I'm a popular guy.
We've all had those moments where technology just refuses to cooperate, and we end up in a tangled mess of ringtones and notifications. But even if a billionaire like Lee Cooperman can have a comical struggle with something as simple as silencing his phone, it reminds us all that money doesn't guarantee a smooth ride through life. It's a reminder that no matter our wealth or status, we're all just humans trying to make sense of a crazy modern world, one silent phone at a time. Number 9. Gone in a second. Carving ice is like trying to make a fancy sculpture out of a stubborn block of frozen water. It's already tricky because you have to work fast before the ice melts away, like a popsicle in the summer sun. And it should not be forgotten that ice is hard as a rock, so there's no room for error. So there's this poor reporter. They had one job, and that was to watch and not touch. But guess what? They messed that one up big time. Like a bull in a china shop, they accidentally ruined hours of delicate ice carving work that had been done by this man. You could practically see the steam coming out of the guy's ears. Just imagine spending all that time carefully chiseling away, trying to create something beautiful, only to have it turned into a slushy mess by a clumsy journalist. Talk about a facepalm moment. And I'm sure that the ice carver probably had an urge to give that reporter a piece of their mind or even a nice cold slap. And so, the next time that you see someone who is delicately carving ice, just back away slowly and admire it from a distance. And for the love of frosty sculptures, keep the reporters away. Number 8. News Network Invasion. 2012 was a crazy year for Greece, and things were getting just a little bit wacky. The tension in society was skyrocketing like never before. But you won't believe what some protesters did to make a statement. A bunch of sneaky troublemakers decided to crash a news network like they were auditioning for a cooking show. They didn't come empty-handed. Oh no, they came armed with flour and eggs, ready to make their artistic mark. And guess who became their unwilling victim? Poor innocent reporters who were doing a live segment. Talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Just imagine the chaos, flour flying everywhere, eggs splattering like a messy breakfast gone wrong. And the reporter's shock and disbelief was apparent as they transformed from a serious news anchor to a walking bakery disaster. I bet they regretted wearing their best suit on that day. Those protesters definitely found an unusual way to express their frustration. Let's just hope they stick to more peaceful methods next time, like writing strongly worded letters, or maybe even beginning a dance-off. Anything but a flour and eggs ambush. Number 7. An awkward moment. It looks like this guy had a little accident during a live show. It seems that he forgot to visit the bathroom beforehand, and, well, nature had decided to take its course right there on the airwaves. That's right, he wet himself. I guess he really needed to go with the flow, but didn't quite make it to the restroom in time. We can only imagine the shock and embarrassment he must have felt, not to mention the awkwardness for everyone who was watching. Now we all have those moments when we forget something important, like turning off the stove or grabbing our keys, but forgetting to empty your bladder before a big interview? That's taking forgetfulness to a whole new level. At least he made a memorable impression, right? I'm sure that this is going to be remembered for years to come, although maybe not for the reasons that anyone had hoped. So, the lesson here, always take care of your bathroom business before you step into the spotlight. Number 6. Banana Attack. Being a reporter is no joke, my friends. They work their tails off, dealing with all sorts of stress and endless toil, but guess what? There are these delightful characters out there who take pleasure in annoying them. One particular fellow had the audacity to repeatedly pop up and bug this poor reporter. He whipped out a banana and shoved it right in the reporter's face. Yes, you heard that right, a banana attack. It's like a scene from a zany comedy film, but in real life. Now, only a certified goofball would pull off a stunt like this. Seriously, who in their right mind roams around annoying hard-working reporters with a banana assault? That's a whole special level of cluelessness. But we should give a round of applause to the reporter for finding the perfect way to deal with this fruity madness. Sometimes a good dose of chase is the ultimate weapon against idiocy. And just maybe, this banana bandit will think twice before pestering anyone else again. Number 5. Football reporter. Now you may be wondering who in their right mind would willingly put themselves in harm's way, risking a face full of balls. Well, football reporters are a special bunch. They're like fearless adventurers, always ready to take a hit. Dodging balls is just another day at the office for these people. They've got the reflexes that are faster than a cheetah on caffeine and agility that would make a ninja jealous. The game is in full swing, and our intrepid reporter is passionately describing the action. Suddenly, a football smacks right in the kisser. The surprise, the funny expressions, and the temporary loss of dignity is like a slapstick comedy routine unfolding before our very eyes. But you know what? They roll with the punches. They pick themselves up, fix their hair, and keep reporting with a grin. These people are pros, and they signed up for a game of dodgeball on steroids. So the next time you catch a live football report, give a shout out to these brave souls who fearlessly face the flying balls. They're the true MVPs of the field, juggling journalism and Jeopardy like it's nobody's business. Number 4. Greg Dutra. Now we'll talk about touchscreens. They're like the superheroes of technology, capable of making things happen with just one simple tap. Remember when we first laid eyes on those shiny smartphones? We were as excited as a squirrel finding a hidden nut. But hold on tight, because meteorologist Greg Dutra took touchscreens to an entirely different level of sorcery. Greg is in the midst of a live weather report on WLS-TV in Chicago, and oopsie-daisy, he accidentally touches the screen. The presentation begins doing a funky dance as though it's possessed by a mischievous ghost. And Greg's face, well, it's priceless. He went from a serious weather expert to a child who had just discovered the secret to unlimited candy. Even the anchor could not resist getting in on the fun. But who can really blame them? It's like a modern-day magic show. Let's cross our fingers and toes that Greg doesn't figure out how he can control the weather with his touchscreen powers. Imagine him swiping left on a tornado or flicking away a thunderstorm like a pesky bug. If he does become the weather master, who knows? We may end up with snowstorms in the middle of summer and sun showers in the winter. Number 3. Bird in studio. Check out this funky bird. It's like the ultimate fashionista, always perching on people's heads. But forget about designer hats. This bird knows how to make a statement. Move over, fancy berets, because bird hats are all the rage. But seriously, how did this feathered friend find its way into the studio? Did it just waltz in through the front door asking for a guest spot on the show? Perhaps it saw all the bright lights and thought that it was auditioning for a bird talent competition. Or maybe it had heard about the free snacks backstage and just couldn't resist the temptation. This bird has some serious confidence. It's strutting around like it owns the place, making everyone wonder if it's secretly the producer of the show. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if it began giving out directions and telling everyone what camera angles to use. And so, you should keep your eyes peeled for any unexpected avian visitors in your workplace, because you never know when a bird with a flair for fashion and a taste for the limelight might swoop in and try to steal the show. Number 2. The expensive blunder. This funny host had a silly idea to play ball with polar bears in a pool, but things got hilarious when he dropped his microphone in the water. What a mic drop fail! But this host had a secret talent. He knew sign language. Despite the mishap, he had found a way to communicate with his confused colleagues using gestures. They were puzzled about continuing the show with a wet microphone. With quick hand movements, he shared thoughts, jokes, and interview questions, and it was like a synchronized swimming show but with sign language. The crew laughed at the absurdity, amazed by his skills, because who needs a regular microphone when you have a hand-talking host? Amidst the splashes and giggles, the show went on, leaving everyone in stitches. And it also proved that even a wet microphone, sign language, and creativity can keep the laughter going. Number 1. Tori Yorgi. During a live news report in Dunbar, West Virginia, things took an unexpected turn. Reporter Tori Yorgi was about to update viewers on a water main situation when a car suddenly zoomed in and knocked her down. Thankfully, she was not seriously injured, just a bit off balance. The driver, likely puzzled by all of the road work, had not anticipated using a reporter as a personal speed bump. Feeling sorry for the accident, the driver was caught off guard by the unexpected chaos, but Tori, being the resilient professional, did not allow the collision to ruin her broadcast. She brushed it off, smiled, and reassured everyone, saying, "Hey folks, no worries, I'm still standing."
But this is live TV and everything's okay.
Talk about dedication. She continued on with the report like a true professional, while the driver was left wondering how it had all happened. She would later go on to the hospital for a checkup, but she also deserves the Absolute Pro Award for her unwavering commitment. Which of these TV moments did you find to be the most intriguing? Let me know your answers in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.